Hey guys, SpicySoap back again with another episode of Space Engineers on BetterGamerOfficial. And in the previous episode, we currently have a drill behind us, which was made in the previous episode. So if you're new to the channel, consider liking and subscribing, because then you won't miss out on any future content and all that. And yeah, as promised in the previous episode, we're going to test this drill out and we're going to push it into the ground, which sounds like a good idea, I think. So, what we need to do is we need to group all the drills, group all the pistons, and then push it down into the ground. So you'll see there's already a trench here. This was from when I needed to get a bit more stone to finish the drill, so that's why there's the bit in the middle, because that's where I needed more drills. But we have all the drills in place, it's all ready to go, and then we can get some stone. So, let's try that out. So it's now pushing into the ground, moment of truth. Is it going to explode or not? The drills haven't started properly, I need to fix that. So there we go, it's drilling down. And now we're going to have loads of stone to spare, which is going to be useful. So it's pushing further down, it looks like it's all going well. So I should probably now check that we've got stone coming in. Yep, it's making stone. So that's all getting refined as we drill it down. And look at the amount of stuff that we're getting out of it in terms of iron, nickel, silicon, gravel. That's all going to accumulate for future projects and to recover resources from our rover lift project, which you'll see over here. Which you'll also remember if you've watched any previous episodes. And that is the drill rig. It's not fully complete. If I wanted to get more resource in future, what I can do is I can add more pistons on and I can actually push it further into the ground. But we've got a pretty decent amount of stone out of this small quarry here. So that should be the drill done with. And the next thing I'm thinking of doing is, actually I'm not really too sure. But I feel like it would be a good idea to get started on the ship that should get us, like, up into space. So I'm thinking this is an empty platform, and it does have a ship which projects, as you can see here. But it's not a very good ship for being in space because there's no thrusters for space on this. It's only got jet turbines, and anyone who knows physics will know that there's no air in space. So, we're gonna have to get some sort of ship other than this one. Plus, we don't need weapons on there because chances are nothing's gonna attack us up there. So, we may as well take down this projector for parts and then get building our actual ship. So we've cleared out the platform, and our next task is to get the thing that can go up into space. So what I'm thinking is we can use large hydrogen thrusters which will push us up into the atmosphere, and that will eventually get us into space. So all we have to do is push ourselves up really hard and make sure we can keep our momentum on the way up. So it's not like I'm NASA or anything, I don't have to really do any physics on this, because all we need to know is if you push something hard enough, it's going to move. So, let's get started with thrusters. And I haven't actually unlocked hydrogen thrusters yet, so I need to do that. So to unlock a hydrogen thruster, I need to get a hydrogen tank, which is something I'm probably going to do first place anyway. So I'm going to need to build up about here, which means I need some steel plates. I'm just going to scaffold it and put a tank on there. So that's where our tank will go. Now on the bottom of that we'll put a thruster, because the thrusters are actually quite big. doesn't seem like the assemblers are using the cargo system to get their parts. So I'm going to check if they still have access to cargo. They still have access to cargo here. This is working. And they all seem to be working and everything. I'm just not sure why they can't use cargo. Which is strange. We'll have to sort that one out. Maybe the assemblers are not set to use conveyors. No, that one's set. And this one's set. I'm not really too sure then. Maybe I just need to put the resources within them. So, let's get the iron and let's get the assembler. Ah, the assembler is full of gravel. So we need to take the gravel out of the assembler and then it'll start picking up iron. So we're starting to manufacture, and now what we can do is start to put together our hydrogen tank. Okay, cool, so we've got a hydrogen tank, and that should have unlocked us a hydrogen thruster as well. There we go, we've got hydrogen thrusters now. So, what we can do is put one of these on the bottom of the hydrogen tank, and then that can work in space and on planets, which is useful for a couple of reasons, because A, we need to land on the moon, B, we're on a planet trying to go to space in a resource effective way, and hydrogen thrusters are very good at doing that. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to hopefully get to the moon in one piece. But that's probably going to be a few episodes away, because making a rocket of such scale is not a short task. Even in creative mode it takes 1 or 2 hours to do this. So in survival it could take God knows how long. So let's just crack on with it. Here we go. So now we've got our first hydrogen thruster, and this is obviously not the full rocket because there's no way you can pilot a rocket with just a fuel tank and a thruster on it to space. But this is a good start to it, and now we're going to have to start filling it with stuff like, for example, hydrogen, and getting more thrust on it. I'm thinking, with this thing, because it's not going to have to be massive, we can probably use a lot of small thrusters to fuel this thing. So, I can put a small thruster here, 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 and then over here. And then we can hopefully lift it up into space. So let's add those to my build planner, along with some conveyor pipes. And then we can hopefully get more of this rocket done. So by the end of today I hope to have all of the thrusters put on. Out of metal grids, and I know exactly where I can get a group of them, because this ramp is redundant because of the fact that we have a rover. So this rover right here, like the lift that it's on, makes this ramp over here redundant, which means I can just get the builder out, cut up a bit of the ramp, and then we can get a bunch of metal grids from it because it's made of heavy armor. The inventory of the builder, and now we need to get the components back onto the station so that then we can start building with them. But if I look in the inventory, you'll see that we probably have a lot of metal grids in here, albeit not as many as I thought we might have had, but it's definitely a start whilst the station gets to producing more. park the builder up. And let's set the station to produce metal grids, because otherwise we're not going to have enough for this project. And it looks like we haven't got any cobalt. But as our GPS says, we have actually gone on an adventure. Unfortunately, cobalt is not something we stumbled across. Except, oh, we did stumble across it, so it's over there. So now all I need to do is, I need to get us a drill ship on the way, which for some reason is drilling. So I need to get in the drill ship, I need to go and get some cobalt, and then we need to go and get resource. Let's see, how deep is this cobalt? Cobalt is over there. So the cobalt is about that deep. Don't know how well I am going to be able to drill down to it, but I can easily make a tunnel down to it. And then once I've got down to a certain depth where I can actually reach it, then I will hand drill it, because this ship isn't really easily going to be able to fit down there. So we'll drill into the ground, make ourselves an entrance for the character to get through, and then we'll probably pick up the cobalt using a hand drill. And as for that plan of going down in the ship, that's going to take a while. So I can simply park up here, I can pull out my hand drill, and I can drill down. So we're running out of hydrogen, so my plan is, we've got a fair amount of cobalt from that, so we're going to head back to base, and then we can refine all of this and we can continue building the planet exit ship. So we've landed the drill ship, so that should be a good amount of cobalt to start working on the rocket again. So all we need to do is head over here, withdraw our parts, and build the rest of this. so we've got all of our downwards thrusters. What we now need to do is we need to put on sideways thrust in case we tilt sideways a bit, because we need to be able to stop ourselves from like strafing off course and then crashing into the ground. And also when we get to space, we don't have gravity to stop us or anything, so we need a way of stopping ourselves from moving. And the best way of doing that is have thrusters in all 6 different directions on the ship. So we've got one direction, now we need to get the rest of the directions. Okay, so we've got sideways thrusters, we've got upwards thrusters. So we're actually covering about 5 directions here. We just need thrusters on the top of the ship to stop us from going forward. But we can't just put them here because otherwise where am I going to sit? And what I'm thinking is I actually want to have some sort of pressurized environment. And that will probably end up being made out of glass with a seat in it so I can see exactly where I'm flying. So first I need to actually build a platform in which the seat and everything's going to go on. But I also need oxygen because you've got to remember I am human and I need oxygen in space. So I need to put an oxygen tank on board along with an air vent. So let's actually sort that out. Now let's put one of these in places. So this will generate oxygen and hydrogen from ice, which will help us A, to breathe, and B, to get into space because we need thrust. That will help us breathe. We also need power as well, so batteries are probably a good way of going about this. So let's build 2 batteries on board this ship, because that should be enough to get us into space and sustain us for a little bit. So we've now got batteries, oxygen tank, and a hydrogen oxygen generator. So all we need to do is pipeline that together, get a way of putting stuff onto the ship, which I think I can put on a connector here. So we need to put a conveyor and a connector. So let's put 2 of these and a connector. And then what the idea is I can get a piston with a connector on the end of it, which puts hydrogen into this ship along with ice, and then we can start to fuel up the ship. Okay, so that's a connector on there, so now all I need to do is get some sort of way of fueling this thing up, and it lines up quite handily with this container here. So I can run a pipe up to here, and then use a piston which pushes a connector up to here, and we can can start transferring hydrogen onto the takeoff vehicle. Okay, so that's now the connector for the rocket build, and all we need to do is extend this piston, and these two should line up and we should be able to start moving hydrogen across to this. But to do that we're going to need a lot of hydrogen, which I currently don't really have stockpiled. So our next project is to be making some sort of drill rig over there, but probably not on as big a scale as the one we've got there for stone. Or we need to go drilling in the miner ship just over there and get a bunch of ice in this thing if we're not making a drill rig. But we're gonna probably have to save that for another episode because we've been recording for quite a while now. But yeah, we've made this rocket, we've tested the drill rig, and we've made some pretty big progress today. So thanks for watching. This has been SpicySoap, and I'm out.